Just hit start. Well, I just put the last things back into place. Calibrate. And done. Okay, good. Calibration done. Now I just need to start the game. ACC launching. So I'm again a lingering slight headache, like I had sort of yesterday. I don't like that. But whatever. It does happen occasionally. So, sudo. There's the race server. And oh boy, if the player count is alright, this is not good for them. Enter. I didn't know we were racing at night. We have camps here, we have Darren. Yeah, Darren is racing a Bentley. I'm pretty sure he doesn't know how much of an insult that car choice is to me, but like he would find it more funny if he knew. Akihari is here. Current well, actually, yeah, provisional pole time, because we are in qualifying already, is a 48.9. Track is fast only at 25.25. I should learn my setup from last season. ABS on 2, TC on 6. How much brake attack this is running? 3.3. Let's see how much you will deliver with these settings. Not much caster in use. Probably ramp that. I don't know where this cough comes from. I'm not sick in any way, it's just my throat seems, I don't know, dry or something, but not really. Oh yeah, Darren has just displaced cams at the top of the pecking order. Ignition. Starter. Headlights. Oh. I forgot I've swapped these two around. I need to fix this again. Stream is in the correct scene. Good. That was a bit overshoot. Let's switch the headlights up full beam. Put my keyboard away. Obviously we take the... I forgot. Ooh. I'm not good at saving my cars anymore. It's genuinely become an issue. Hello, I'm turning it. That seemed unreliable how the clicks on the traction control worked there. Come on, go. Wasn't good either. I'm very much washed right now. It was way better driving on Friday. Oh god! If I had to stay a consistent distance away from the apex, I would be winning. I mean, if I hit 150 here with this, it's gonna be a surprise. Yeah, I'm all over the place still. She does ride pretty well out of the chicane. Oh, and then understeer completely there. Massive lockup on the tires. Oh, yeah, that works. 47, 48, 49, 6. Could be worse. The entire lot is very scuff. I usually rely on that white line on the ground, but I can barely see it in these conditions here. Oh, I eat so much gravel there. Can't use the curb. Brakes? Where were you this time around? That's great, when you press the brake pedal and it doesn't work all the time. And I have also a very scuff lap, and then somehow you don't really find time in it. That's also great. 1.2 seconds right now off the pace. It's expected. Not even here, like, where's the time? Let me have it again. I know there's time. Why is it not letting me have the time again? Okay, this time around it had a lot of rotation into this corner. There was a bit of time, but like, again we're dealing with like a 10 for 2, like that's not enough. Gets me to P3, but like not further up the order. He's faster out of the first corner here. Hello, brakes! Why the fuck are you not slowing the car down? It just doesn't make sense. Like, it worked fine on the first flyer with more forward bias, but now it pushes over the front axle all of a sudden. Like, what sense is behind this entire thing? Comes the disconnect. There's the reconnect. Okay, I was very cautious down the bricks. That cost me basically 2/10 there. For driving the corner a bit slowly. Enough for TV2 right now. That's late. Yeah, I missed my braking point. It is so marginal, this braking zone. Because the white line makes it very easy to identify which marker board you need, but like, without the white line, it's just like, guess! 9 times out of 10, you're wrong! How this shakes up my entire rig when I hit this curve. Something. Alright, but I have one more shot of this. Okay, I need to swap this play over there. Okay, that's why I'm running more TC. Specifically the exit of that corner, because it will otherwise just wheel spin. Now near the turn 1. Oh, still fast. Ah, yep, again, why I run more TC on the circuit. Fuck! I dipped the wheel on the entry. It's Jova. Dipped the wheel on the entry and I just sent the car. Case was like Watkins Glen race. It's Akihiro who was driving around behind me. Who knows if he can improve now. Yeah, he could, but not in position. We have Runev in a Porsche Cup here. 3 seconds off the pace. And then Brogdon. But yeah. In case... well, it is halfway interesting. The championship scenarios for this. Now, I cannot decide the championship today. That is not possible. I can, well, make my life a bit easier. And this is to just... I need, in next 2 rounds, including this one, I need 2 5th place finishers, and that ties up the championship already. And this is with Camps winning and getting the fastest lap every round. So, I mean, he's not far off me, and there's Jones still ahead of us. That makes it a bit difficult to win outright. Which moves the finishing targets a bit down. But considering there's 5 cars on the grid, I'm more or less guaranteed to like score 5th place. And this will be also the case with the coming around in Nürburgring. When we have a similar grid size, I will again be more than enough to score 5th place. If I win the race with fast lap, even Cam's finishing 2nd, then I would be able to tie the championship up with a 10th place. Or just finishing ahead of him at a position with a fastest lap. Would be enough that I finish 12th then in Nürburgring. Or if I don't get the fastest lap, 10th. With him finishing 1 position behind me. That's how that works. That's that math. However, tire pressure, they were slightly on the low side, I think, but otherwise fine. If I remember correctly. Let's put 0.2 in them. Apply pressures. Configure about 45 liters worth of fuel. Everything else should be fine. But yeah, I will likely just run TC6 just to cope with this horrendous oversteer occasionally on throttle that this car wants to throw up from time to time. Yeah, let's see how we can we out accelerate a Bentley off the line here. Yeah, not the most impossible thing to ever say. Certainly something that I think is possible for the Porsche. With its stupid fast start. So, engine start on, engine running. Take this over. Radio. It's well, actually, we need headlights. We need some headlights, otherwise we don't see anything really. Frontal. No, it's not spinning time. Dump some heat into these brake discs. Check the brake bias. Oh, man, as I was talking about just before you came, I'm in a good place to tie the championship up even if I finish last here. Because there's so few cars here on the grid today. Where's the Bentley? I think he slowed down at the start again. Akihari, they're quite aggressive at the start. I mean, I can't tie it up today, but like it's... Even if my main championship rival, which is the Lexus, so probably in between finishes first with fastest lap for the next 3 races. He hasn't won a single round this entire season. I would have to just finish 5th place twice. And today there's only 5 GT3 drivers. That's my point. I could also finish 1 4th place and 1 6th place, but like... That's how that works. And if I win here, and he finishes 2nd, then a 10th place is enough in Nürburgring, and considering the grid size as well, I don't expect we have more than 10 cars next round. That Ferrari is annoying. He's under 210s, so I think he might just be able to slingshot here. None of us are running much downforce, but still. Oh, I went deep. My brother in Christ! I was so deep already, like how the fuck did you figure out how to go deeper than me? My brother in Christ, you've, if I hadn't moved every single time to get out of your way, we would have crashed, guarantee. I went out of my way just for you to not wipe me out. Because I don't want to die. So it's Brockton now up to P2. He's at a lightning start here. Wait, my engine map is moving. On its own. Just noticed. Hold on. Engine map 1. I want to. However. I hope so. Yeah, they lost a bunch of time fighting with each other here. Slide there out of the corner. That's why I'm running a lot of TC here. I'm running... Oh fuck, not again. This has caught me out of my R9 now a few times. Where I enter a slide, I counter steer, and then I'm like... Suddenly the front end bites and rotates me and spins me out. And this time around, he just like halfway through the slide, I realized like, oh shit, that's about to happen. So I stopped the slide very quickly. That cost obviously a lot of momentum, but at least saved the car very quickly. Really have a chance to win. Like, yeah, a chance to win is always on the cards. Oh yeah, that's... But like, actually winning is a different thing. You oftentimes do have people who are very fast, especially over a single lap. But not just over a single lap, who will very much make your life quite miserable, because you can't quite beat them. I like rotating quite a lot there. In a way, yeah, in some ways. I also like on Friday last week, I was also very handily beaten. In my own car nonetheless. So, yeah. Moved out of the way there. And we do have to also deal with Darren, who, you know, qualified in pole and is now P3 after having started from the back. Yeah, he just lapped a 48.5. Darren is always a liability. Okay, someone went straight on there. I think that was not Akihari or... Yeah, that was Jones. No? Who was that? Went straight on. It was a big car, it was definitely not a Ferrari. Could be Lexus or the Bentley. I'm not sure which one it was. Either one would definitely fit the definition of a big car. Oh, car's a bit unstable there. Yeah, you don't get a penalty if you are behind your position in the formation. You do only get a penalty if you're ahead. So if you want to start from the back of the grid, you can just slow down on the formation. It might irritate some people, but like you don't get a penalty for that. So that's the easiest way to start from the back of the grid if you hadn't qualified already lost. Which would be the other way. Starting from the pit is not a good idea because that costs a lot of time. Like a lot of time. Because your controls are unlocked roughly around the time that the last person like crosses the pit exit, drives past it. It's when your controls get unlocked. And at that point you have to still drive to the end of the pit lane. Start the engine and drive to the main end of the pit lane. Bend overly. No, it's the boatly. We refer to it as the boat. But yeah, the electronics of this car do not like this track too much. The massive oversteer issues that this setup has with anything lower than like 5TC is something else. And the ABS even on 2 does not work particularly well and will just occasionally not apply all the brake power down. It's a fun quirk of the Porsche. Occasionally you need to lower the ABS to get better braking performance. You get brake lockups occasionally on higher ABS settings that you don't get on lower ones. It's really bizarre stuff. In general, the Porsche can produce some oddities, like you will usually wear out the front tires first, but the car will become oversteery because of that. This is quite an odd characteristic of it. Yeah, Jones still beats me though there, and he's past Akari now. Oh, that was late. Yeah. Is Akari even a race still? I think... Oh wait, Akari's... What is going on here? I'm pretty sure Jones was in P2. But Akari is again in P2. Hoi? But Jones is lost now. Oh fuck. Not again. Oh fuck. God. Can't steer too much. Yeah, my counter steer is still not good on the R9 yet. Moved too slow and too much. Like controlling smaller slides is perfectly fine. Those you do well just driving through the corners. Totally is definitely not the goat. Yeah. That was my first car at V-Track. I'd been driving it on and off regularly for the past few years at that point. Although I'd mained ACC and GT4, so my GT3 action been neglected a bit. But it was sort of my fallback car. Well, then V-Track Season 7 happened. Fuck, I missed my braking completely. It's not good. Got track limit warning still for that. Wasn't slow enough. Oh boy. I'm making too many mistakes. Yeah, I'm struggling a bit in turn 1 for some reason. It's not like I'm driving for the first time ever at night here. Like, I've done a full 24-hour race on the circuit at night, in the rain. Although I would prefer to not remember that race too much. It was quite disastrous. But yeah, we drove that one. And I was fine. I've driven into the night, even one here in a 6-hour race with the 991-2. So I've definitely done this, but for some reason I'm really struggling with the braking point in turn 1. Oh, there comes Jones out, having done the pit stop. But I'm really struggling with the braking point for turn 1, because I usually use that white line that is on the ground. But I keep missing it. I just keep missing it. It's really hard to spot in the headlights for some reason. It's stuff for me. Yeah, I'm definitely not advising this car particularly too much. It is a bit of a concern because, I mean, I mainly deploy it so far in Spring Championships, I have a tire swap in the middle. Technically, last season of Sudo Racing League was with optional tire change in the middle, so tire change was optional. I mean, technically it is also this season, but you know, it is fixed refueling time, so it makes no sense to not change tires really. But I might tonight. Nah. Even on this track, there's too much gain to not justify spending 5 seconds on the pit lane. There's just too much gain from that. Oh, Akiari died. He had a massive moment there. He's dropping still further back. But yeah, actually doing enduros with this car. Funnily enough, Loic and someone else on the Iris did run this specific car around Imola in I think it was a 4-hour race. While Jeff and I ran the McLaren 570S. But that's also like quite a bit of time ago at this point. And Porsche had its fair share of issues. Like was doing quite fine in it. But like issues with the brakes being cooked because we accidentally took brake pads 1 again. They don't last 4 hours. They just don't. Don't bring them for more than 2 hours. I would even for 2 hours not bring them really. But the problem had been with Lloyd that like he couldn't figure out how brake ducts, like he couldn't keep brake ducts and brake pads apart. Like he would trim them the wrong way around, which meant that like sometimes you ended up with setups of him that had like brake pads 3 installed and like way too close brake ducts. It's like wacky shenanigans. Which is why he hadn't touched him at Imola, because he's like, no, I'm not touching these things. Granted, again, he drove ACC about once every 6 months at most. Couldn't figure out how to set the wheel rotation correctly, so his in-game wheel was way too responsive compared to his rear wheel. Just R-Factor 2 issues, because R-Factor 2 automatically reconfigures your wheel driver on supported wheels. Or if you set it to software option. Because the funny thing is that every other sim besides R-Factor 2 and AMS 1 don't mess with your wheel driver to get the wheel rotation configured. Everything else just expects you, yeah, please enter your how much rotation you have configured in your driver. Thank you, good day. So but yeah, when it comes to endurance, you need to obviously last an hour on a tire set, and the car has to stay consistent over that hour. And has to produce pace, and the Porsche can over 1 lap, definitely in shorter sprints, also very much produce good pace. I've really demonstrated, but like, it craters a bit hard after 20 minutes. And while you can in like 1 hour stint with a tire change live with that, it's like a 6-hour race where your car should last an hour on a tire set in a fuel tank. This is not good. And I've really never done much in terms of setup work for this car yet. And yeah, the risk of spins would definitely increase at that point quite a lot. Which causes issues in terms of its viability. And that ties in also with like, I haven't done many enduros in like months at this point. I really wanna kind of do some again, but it's like I need to do recruitment at gunpoint again. It's not great. I mean, it was the 4-hour race last weekend, you might say. But it's like, well, I was quite literally busy that day, so like I was busy walking across the convention floor. So that was a good choice of my time, yes. So I won't complain too much, but yeah. There's technically a 12-hour race this weekend, but like, you know, it's getting late to sign up for that. And scramble team together. And also in that vein of like, yeah, I mean, I saw a bit from you. There were definitely, apparently, quite a few issues with management. It's been recent weeks also, like, I mean, my Friday race was also marred with, like, issues from the people managing the event there. Because they just didn't configure the server with enough slots. And we're like, well, why can't anybody connect to our server? Yeah, because you configured only 4 slots. It's sometimes like, are you hosting an ACC event for the first time? Well, it does. Yes, it does technically, if you have an entry list, allow people to join even when the server is quote unquote full. But also the you didn't consider the hidden variable of like, well, the numbers of allowed connections, and those were capped at like 8. If you have only 4 people that can connect, so great job. If you read the quite extensive server owner manual, you would have known that, but you didn't. I feel like in some ways there's like quite literally, are you doing this for the first time or something? Like, seriously, this is like rocket science. I mean, I also have an allergy for like people having a stick stuck up their ass. At least that wasn't an issue with those guys. They did figure it out afterwards, at least. I mean, a few months ago it was the issue that somebody they wanted to configure a stint timer for a certain event, but they then forgot that you need to set a total drive time, otherwise the stint timer doesn't work. It's like you have to set both of these values, otherwise one will be just assumed to be 0. And that thing blew up in their face like 3 times before they realized that they need to set this value. Again, something defined in the manual. Or probably any good server hosting software like ACC Server Manager. Although I don't know who really uses that piece of tech, besides maybe me. It's just a neat little tech piece, although it's the problem with the Docker containers that's really outdated. Hello there.
Howdy.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, I'm fine. I didn't do the race today because I wasn't feeling like it, so...
Yeah, there's only like 5 people plus a Porsche Cup car.
Nice.
So yeah.
I joined in the stream when you were talking about a 12-hour race it was?
Yeah, it would be, well, I did dig into what's currently being hosted. There is a 12-hour race scheduled for this weekend. There's technically also a 24-hour race scheduled for this weekend. But yeah, there's a 12-hour race at Spa. They have already like 72 of the 82 slots filled for that one. there is, and then there's in 2 weeks' time another 12-hour race at Spa.
Man, they really like Spa, don't they?
A reminder again, like how sim racers work.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I actually posted. I went today through a bunch of like old ELC memes. I quite literally browsed the ELC memes channel for that. Because specifically I I posted the become ungovernable meme with where Diego wrecks out in ELC Bahrain in response to like, no, I will not do something. And then the other person responded with the ELC a difference of skill meme. And I'm like, wait a minute, where did you find that one? And he's just like, well, I typed in Alpha 2 into it gives and found it immediately. It's like, okay.
Yes.
So I went for like, the best part is I wanted a specific GIF, and it turned out it wasn't my favorites list. It just the Discord favorites list just didn't want to load the image for it. Great job. It was there. It could be replayed and posted. It just didn't want to. Specific one I was thinking of was the Cope meme where at Daytona the prototype went on the apron and then wiped out 2 GT3 cars.
Yes, you know, the overline through the ovals.
Wasn't it shortened to 6 hours, that one Spa event? I don't know what you were specifically talking about that one. But yeah, when I was going through the memes, I found one of them is like, what sim racers say they want, and it's like high power open wheel historic cars and complicated tracks, and like what they actually want. GT3s, low power cars, TC on, and then Spa and Monza.
Spa and Monza, yes.
In ACC you get, well, sort of at least the variety of like, not Monza usually. It's not too popular for endurance events. Although the trend of like Nürburgring Nordschleife has definitely died down a bit.
Oh, thank God.
Well, a bit less thankful for me because I still haven't done a 24-hour race in ACC yet. On the Nordschleife, so yeah. I guess I will wait till next year, and I guarantee someone will host it. Let's hope they don't scrap it again. Because I
300 different 24-hour races close to actual 24-hour races.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there has been a bunch of like events cancellation or shortenings recently. Ownit wanted to host a Brands Hatch, I think 24-hour race, and they just basically scrapped the thing to like a 1-hour race. And it's like, why? Like, I don't know how many signups they had. They're like at least a dozen, if not 20 at least. They didn't have low. They could have for sure just gone with like, okay, we'd make it a 12-hour race. But no, we just scrapped the entire thing. Whatever. There was Toga, which wanted to host back in I think August 24-hour race, and then they were like, we ran into issues with our server, so we'll just not do that as well. We will reschedule it. Like we will. I don't know, in like a month maybe. We haven't heard from them again.
Yeah.
So that was like the last attempt that like Team Morpha recently did. I checked what our team currently has in terms of drivers.
And it's not looking good, is it?
Well, the one guy we had for the Toga event specifically, he has left the Discord. Can't blame him. Nothing was happening here, so, you know. And then, Chris has also become, one of the managers over at Team Iris, so...
Oh. Congrats for the promotion, I guess, to Chris.
Yeah, because,
if I'm perfectly honest, managing a team, from what I know from you, isn't a promotion, is it?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that with how Iris leadership has gone, it's like it was like Turn and Loic were the managers for a while. Then, like about a year ago, Loic had basically quit managing roles. And so it was only Torn. The thing was, like, while Loic and Torn were the managers, Torn wasn't really
managing.
Well, he was doing some stuff, but like everybody like went to Loic when anything was needed to be done. So like Loic just had to deal with everything because everybody went to him. This was also sort of the issue when I was doing anything in terms of the ACC stuff over in Iris, because it's like nobody would quite literally listen to me at all. It's like, oh hey, here's a bunch of events, just chirp, 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 and then Loic is like, oh hey, I found this event that Lukas posted like quite literally a week ago, 5 posts above. Does anybody want to do this? And then just like, bite. And in the end, we only have anyway 2 cars, when one of them doesn't even start, so... I should probably at some point pit.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to pit.
I have enough fuel right now, so like I can go one more lap and then come in. But yeah, I mean I'm still in the Iris Discord, so I could see that like what was going on, and like I think it was promoted like a good week ago or so, and I saw it like yesterday. So like I'm not checking that much on Iris, it's just I'm technically still on the Discord, so I can see if things happen over there. And it's like, yeah, Sean was like 2 weeks ago being like, hey, I need some help because I don't have that much time. I don't know how Iris is doing in the background in terms of keeping up with attending races and stuff. Keeping lineups fed. Okay.
See you, G-Folks.
Yeah, see you. Get some nice sleep. I went quite early to bed yesterday because I had a headache. As a result of that, I woke up at like 3 AM.
Oh. So nice.
Fell asleep again at about 5 and was very cranky when I woke up at 8 again. So... not great, but I guess it's workable. Yeah, I still haven't actually configured my car. With my pit stop. How much fuel do I need? It says 33 liters. Yes, I know, I have precisely 1 lap of fuel basically left. I could squeeze another one out of it if I needed to, but like, nah.
I think we even have the gap as well, so...
Yeah. They really stopped pressuring me at this point in the race. I don't know, they might have all just taken... Like, Akihei might have just genuinely taken damage because he had definitely an off, a larger one. Jones is sitting in the pits because he had a drive-through. It's just decided to retire, basically. And I mean, I'm about to lap camps in front of me. Barring the Porsche Cup, I'm the last car who hasn't done a pit stop yet. Okay, the Porsche Cup is also coming to the pits. So I'm now genuinely the last car on track out yet. But yeah, the other event that would have been this weekend would be a 24-hour race at Bathurst.
Oh god.
Yeah. But they have the sign-ups, they had the sign-ups locked like a good week ago already, so like I'm like, maybe they do a sign-up similar to how B-Track that you have to contact them on Discord to get in, but like, I think they're good as anyway full at this point. And again, I need to like somehow craft some drivers together for this. But yeah, the Spa race this weekend with the large grid. That one has an open grid in terms of the car choices. So they allow any car type in one class. So you don't get any class separation directly from them. There are a couple GT2s and GT4s starting up in that one.
Nice.
And then the one on the 21st is GT3, GT4 specifically. The thing is with the 21st, there would technically also be the Track EU Race of Champions on that day.
And somebody's a champion.
Yeah, I need to come back to... Oh. I need to get used to my button mappings. Yeah, I need to get back to Ruby about that one to finalize my sign up for this. I need to pick a color and a car number.
Purple and number 69.
I think maybe 69 is already taken. I would have to check.
But yeah, I've forgotten which is your race number. You don't...
Yeah, I don't have a consistent one either right now.
Yeah.
I've been like back in the day I raced a bit in the 98. I had... When I raced... Oh god, what... I don't know what number I raced under with Rookie Monsters. I raced with... I know that I raced with Iris under 77 or 76. Those were common combinations. And I would use those also in ACC. I raced then the 998 for my Porsche. But I'm currently also racing that number. And I've raced also the number 404. I've raced number 69. I'm pretty sure as well on my on the what was it? On the 570S. I think I raced 69.
But yeah, which means that you will need to pick a number, and it's gonna be like, oh god, which one do I pick now?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fun.
I mean, mine are 42, 242, and 67.
Yeah. I don't... Oh yeah, right, we've raced with Team Morpher the number 40... No, not 45, 25. We raced a bit. When we briefly competed in the... Saphire? Or whatever it was. That ran like... ran a bit of... that ran a Nordschleife championship.
Yeah.
Where we entered our Lexus. That was run under 25. Because Cinco. I don't know what we've raced in V4H in the brief stint we had there as a car number. But yeah, I can't recall my car numbers right now. I guess I will likely go with 404.
V4H, it was the 404, yeah.
Oh, V4H also entered the 404, okay.
Yeah. Under the Stream new team, I guess, yeah. It was you with Jordan at the Glen.
Yeah, Jordan at the Glen, and then also at Spa. But I guess we changed only the number there for Spa, because we swapped from the Aston to the McLaren for Spa. Yes, the Aston was quite disastrous at Watkins Glen for us. Like, I wasn't particularly happy, but I got it at least around the track. Jordan can't say the same thing about that one.
Which is surprising, because the Aston is seen as one of the friendlier and, how can I say, easier cars to drive.
It isn't too hard, but like, the car was it was kind of just slow around the circuit, and if you poked it a bit too hard it would oversteer. And if you're trying to like drive around, like for example understeer, you can easily just lose a car in the process of just trying to drive too hard around handling problems the car has. This is sort of something that you can occasionally get into with how do I phrase it in a friendly way? Slower drivers, less experienced drivers. I mean, I can argue the Porsche is like a quite stable car. Well, as long as you keep it in its operating envelope. Like, it genuinely is quite can be quite stable. It will plant really well out of corners. You really don't have to think too much about grip issues on the rear. On acceleration at least, but that's not the full story with the Porsche, that's for sure.
It's something... Yeah, gee, I wonder why it has those characters on the side of the car then.
Yes!
Yes, I wonder why.
Produces a bunch of other problems. But yeah, it's... goes up. So it doesn't make it like occasionally like, what is actually an easy car to drive? It becomes a very hard question to answer. Because for an experienced driver, there are cars like the Aston or the M4 or the 720S that can be quite easy to drive. But for a less experienced driver, they can also just turn into an utter nightmare, all of these cars.
Yeah, I mean, as a Mustang driver, and despite, you know, having some experience in R5, I still find myself, I call myself less experienced than ACC, frankly, to be honest, and I don't care about it. But, like, driving with a Mustang and all of that is very tricky for me.
Yeah, that car can be quite handful. I mean, even the 720S can be a bit of a handful occasionally, depending on car track and just how you're feeling that day.
Yeah.
Can all these things can quite make a difference. Yeah, what happened there, Darren? Like I did notice you were regularly up in P2 and then you would suddenly drop back again. It's just Akiari fighting a bit too hard to you? Because I mean, he was fighting me really hard in the early laps. He was just Like, if I hadn't, like, multiple times just given up the inside of the corner to survive, then we would have had massive chunks at least, like, 3 times or so. Yeah, I just said a faster time. Just now. Killed you on a straight. Oh. Ouch. Yeah, that explains basically everything. Why you were in the pit lane. Yeah, that explains everything. Because... well, it's one thing to be sent straight on at turn 1. Which I'm still not sure it was you who was basically running parallel to run off with me, or if it was a Camps, because I was sure it was a big car, but like I wasn't sure if it was a Bentley or a Lexus. Oh yeah, and then the drive-thru obviously for track cuts. And not enough fuel. Oh. Yeah.
The combo. Just stop beating him, he's dead already.
Yeah. But yeah, I was looking out the left window and I was like, yeah, there's definitely a car driving, but I'm not sure who it was. I've been struggling with turn 1 occasionally with braking. Yeah, one of those to forget. Yeah. You might be suffering from the Bentley curse. Because I've been I drove the Bentley prior to me swapping. Till about a year ago, I drove the Bentley. Whenever I drove GT3, and it was disastrous. There's quite literally a not just demonetized, I'm not monetized anyway. But there's a age-restricted VOD on my channel of me driving in Watkins Glen with the Bentley. And the fact it got age-restricted was like, okay, I need to change something, so I swapped car to the 720S. And the rest was history because I went immediately to win the next race.
Damn, not changing the circuit or I don't know, the game? But yeah.
I mean, the next race was Paul Ricard. It was VGT Season 7. I then completed pole position, fastest lap, and race win. I mean, I had earlier this season actually got quite far up the grid. I had a 2nd place finish in Solder that season, and I had was running 2nd place in the first round in Snettered until my internet provider decided that I wanted to have an outage for 12 hours. So I had some pace, but like in qualifying I hadn't broken into the top 5 ever that entire season. I had mainly just made up positions for just surviving. Yet, it's an odd car, the Bentley. Like, it kicks like a mule, so you need to run a lot of traction control. Like 5 at least, otherwise it will just wheel spin constantly. And you know, my experience with that car is prior to it being bopped. It's like, I drove that thing before it got bopped by LFM, and before then Kulas decided, you know, we maybe need to buff it a bit. So like, even before that, so like, it was really bad. It's obviously quite an odd car with like, steering on the right. It's big. But you know, you're still putting Paul here, and clearly it can be vaguely competitive. Even if it has the aerodynamics of a brick. And even if it's...
The mighty brick.
It has decent stopping power though, usually. That's where the Bentley is pretty decent. And pretty decent handling and higher speed stuff. It just doesn't like accelerating out of slower speed corners. It will very quickly just kick like a mule out and then you lose time. Like it's again, to get back to something we were talking about earlier with easy to drive cars. The Bentley won't kill you really when it does that. You will usually very easily hold the slide. But you just lose time, and it's like when you're at a certain skill level, that matters more than like the loss of control, because you will likely anyway catch most cars. But below a certain skill level, a car that, even when it gets upset with you, doesn't really kill you, is a quite decent bargain. The one that chronically also lacks pace is still not particularly great.
Yeah, another AC car to driver would probably say might be the M4.
Yeah, I did mention it earlier.
Yeah.
It definitely is, but like I've also seen like I had a what was it, 1,000 kilometer race at Paul Ricard's, gosh, 2-3 years ago.
Ah, very recent, yes.
Yes, it's probably not 3 years ago because I started racing ACC in 2021, so it wasn't that year. It was a year after that, I'm pretty sure. It was 2022 then. And there we ran an M4, and those drivers just couldn't get really to grasp at all with the car. I'm pretty sure on average pace I would have beaten them in a GT4. Like they were not able to get sub 2 minutes. And one of them was spinning so much that I would actually probably beat them on average pace in a GT4, which is above 2 minutes 10. The GT4 around Paul Ricard, if I remember correctly right now. So the other one was definitely like probably faster than the GT4, but like, you know, not by much. It was at least not a multi-class race. It was also run by, what are they called? Lightspeed? Whatever that league is called. That was infamous end of last year when, like, as soon as the Nordschleife was announced, they scheduled an event for February.
Yeah, I remember that. Like,
yeah, I don't think they ever hosted a 24-hour race then in the end. Back then, when I raced briefly there, they restarted randomly the race. As far as I understand, they accidentally disqualified the wrong car. And then just decided to restart the race for everyone. About an hour in, so...
That's cool, I guess.
Yeah, weird things! Oh, come on, come on. Yeah, those sudden onset oversteers I'm bad at correcting so far with the Moza.
I'm curious with one thing about you, Lucas. Why did you switch to ACC?
Why did I go to ACC after having driven so long R-Factor 2?
Yeah, it's like, why, for example, not go... I know iRacing is A, then the card is your real name, but I think still, like, you would have found some sort of way around it back then. But yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I don't know when I bought the game. It was during 2020, I think. I bought ACC. But like I wasn't able to really run the game. Specifically, also not in VR, which I started driving in 2020 in VR. My 1060 was lighting itself on fire trying to do this. Like, specifically the problem with the 1060 was that it was running out of VRAM. 6 GB of VRAM is not enough to run ACC in VR. It will turn into pastel colors. Like, you have like 6 stages for the lights, for your headlights. With like distinct lines on the ground for that. The advertisement boards are just like white background with a black blob in the middle. You occasionally can see effectively what would happen with a low VRAM situation whenever you, on a larger track especially, swap between 2 cars and spectating. Because you could see then for like a split second the world load in from LOD state. ACC effectively stays in a bit higher LOD state than when it runs out of VRAM. So, yeah, that was a thing. But yeah, I mean, I did still compete, obviously, in 2021 in R-Factor 2 quite a bit. But, like, I also had started driving a bit in ACC. I drove... In 2021 still... That was the season that I drove... The first season I drove with Iris in the ELC Championship.
Which is not dead.
Is ELC actually dead?
The endurance part is.
Okay. Well, I didn't catch up with that. But I mean, not too surprising considering I went through the last... I went through all the images in the memes channel, and this is like... I think 20 pages? No, it was I think 32 pages or something. And like, you get to 2022 by page 3 or so. So like, there has not been much activity on that server. And yeah, it's the meme channel, but like that doesn't bode well for the rest of the server.
So, yeah.
If the meme channel has low activity. So, yeah, it would be not so surprising. Indy 500 at some point. I don't know if they actually did and I didn't notice. I know they did, I think, a Mini Cooper event. And then they had also quite a few race cancellations this year, where they had to cancel and reschedule events. That's what I've seen. Like, I've paid too much attention otherwise. Oh well, it's the end of the race now. Well, it's one lap to go.
But yeah, I guess what broke the camel's back was just that you couldn't handle any more of the bullshit that was R-Factor 2.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably been also a large part of it. Just having gone somewhere else. It was, I mean, there was a time where I basically did both for the most part. I did fine It's just that I slowly stopped doing R-Factor 2. And then I started doing more ACC in return. And even when I scaled a bit back my ACC, it's like I didn't really at any point fully stop. It's like I didn't like pick up R-Factor 2 or something again to fill in.
Yes, and then you became an ACC fanboy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's happened over the last few years already. It's just where I ended up stuck here. I mean, I guess it could have been another rental, but like I had ACC already, and I continue to not be a fan of both the pricing model and like the handling model already looks to me wrong. So.
And you know, you won't touch LMU because to you it's just an R-Factor 2 skinned, so...
Yeah. And also because I continue to believe the game will at some point just die, because the developer will die. But I continue to be wrong in terms of like, oh yeah, this developer will die quicker than it actually does. Because, you know, Motorsport Game still is around somehow. Like, I had expected that LMU turns into vaporware at some point, but like, no. It is actually a real game that you can play.
Suppose then you won't be too happy to hear that the official Le Mans and the official Ferrari from R-Factor 2, with the DLC they have, that's getting removed from the store.
Yeah, you can't buy it, but you can still drive it. If you have it.
Yeah, from January 3rd, 1st, somewhere around there.
Yeah, again, I own them already, so it's like,
yeah.
Even then, that doesn't bother me. It is an issue for people still hosting leagues in R-Factor 2. Because, you know, oh yeah, we want to use Le Mans. It's like, oh, I'm new to the game, I don't own the track, and I can't buy it.
I shall sail the 7 seas then.
Yeah, I mean, I do remember that some people did that back in the day with R-Factor 2. I have no clue how they pulled that off. Pirating the DLC. There has to be some way to supply the clients the encryption keys to open the files. I mean, you have to also supply the server some encryption keys you generate automatically. That has to also be done if you host the content. Do you clearly remember? But yeah, I mean, besides ACC, I had occasionally driven AC, but AC doesn't work that well. It's like it's great for just, oh yeah, I want to just drive on the wagons. Like, yeah, that's great, that's awesome. AC does really well for just cruising, but like actual racing, AC starts very quickly just falling apart. It does not like collisions between cars. It handles a bunch of other stuff not quite well. You hit a wall a bit too hard, and the physics engine just freaks out and sends you either too low off orbit or your wheel too low off orbit. But like, it doesn't handle these things all that well. There's a bunch of stuff just not properly simulated. And yeah, people have over the years just basically bolted on a day-night system and all of the other stuff. But yeah, they are bolted on and they're sort of like just occasionally falling apart. All of these systems. Like, sure, I've done a 24-hour race solo in that game. It's doable.
But
like, even R-Factor... Yeah, even R-Factor 2's old driver swap system is in some ways less convoluted than this. that you have to do for AC. Yeah, it's something. So AC just is best served with just that. It does look like a lot of these issues are addressed with AC Evo. I'm not a big fan of going on the hype train of anything, and the AC Evo included, but they're like, yes, we have daylight system, yes, we have weather, yes, we're looking towards also people just driving cars occasionally, and not just racing. It's like, and also we are building on top of not having such a stiff suspension issues that ACC, for example, has. This is one of that.
The pogo stick.
Yeah, one of the problems with ACC is the stiff suspension, especially on high curbs. It just launches a lot of the cars quite badly. Like, yeah, there's some cars where you have this issue less. Like, you can get away with a lot more stuff with, like, a Lexus or some of the GT4s, but, you know, how likely is it that anybody drives those cars and not just drive the 296 again? Which, funnily enough, again, it's like, I think the 296 is not actually that difficult of a car to drive for a beginner. It's like, it's kind of difficult to actually get a lot of pace out of, but, like, it actually vaguely works because of how it understeers and everything. However, if you start pushing it a bit hard, it will start falling apart on you.
That goes for any car though. Once you start pushing, it's always like you will be more even. I mean, of course, then you will be more prone to mistake yourself.
Yeah, that's also the case.
Is like as good. The closer you are to the limit, the closer you are to also just the car will start giving you these sort of problems.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're less experienced, you drive oftentimes behind the car. The car drives more you than the other way around. You end up in just putting the car in very weird places where it's just you oftentimes just get sent in some weird way. I mean, G-Fox was earlier here, but like I do know that he has a characteristic in his driving style where like he like releases the brake multiple times through a braking zone, and I've told him about this, and like he hasn't been able to correct this. He just does that where he just like stabs the brake multiple times throughout a braking zone, and it's not too surprising that he occasionally just over rotates the car when he pulls his braking into the corner. Because the car does not sometimes respond particularly well to, like, rapidly being unloaded on the brakes.
Yeah.
In the middle of its turn-in, so, like, yeah, that's not too surprising that you occasionally get into bad places. And then also just running weird racing lines can produce funny results. I mean, I say I'm inconsistent as all hell and just the master of 1,000 lines and ending up still with the same lap time. But there's definitely drivers that drive way more radically different lines throughout corners, and they usually have a massive delta between those laps. And especially between those sectors. They sometimes end up with relatively similar laps to each other. But they don't have massive deltas in sectors. While I have usually, like, roughly the same pace for a corner. Irrelevant if I, like, miss the apex by a meter or hit it. Usually
personally, I'm just consistently solo in ACC, so... So, like, I try to be always within, like, as I told you in the past, like, I try to be 1.5 to 2 seconds just with the top guys. But even that seems to be, like, whereas in R-Factor 2 I feel I can do that much easier. In ACC it's definitely something that you need to work a lot more.
I think the question is of what the competition is like, because I think the competition in R-Factor 2 has especially now, is very weak at this point. Who's left driving R-Factor 2 at this point?
I mean, trust me, in the places that I race at CMS, the competition is pretty much, top. I would say it's some of the faster drivers.
Okay.
Like you got, like recently it got the injection of rookie monsters, and they have like 300 different fast drivers, it seems, to be the case. But at least, like, the thing is, even if they have an off day or something like that, they still are just significantly faster than me.
Yeah. I mean, if I go up against because I briefly drove for, like, Rookie Monsters, I think in 2022, in an ACC event, and I was nowhere.
Yeah, it's
like, when you look at the ACC side, some of these people are fucking wild in terms of fast. I mean, the competition here is like decently upper fast. There's the problem that like the lower part of the grid is completely missing.
Yes, so the grid that I would usually compete for and have fun is like, yeah, it's just don't exist.
The drivers for it are missing that usually would occupy these spots. You usually find, but that were there actually like a season or two ago. It's like they were there at the beginning of last season for sure, and then they were definitely there 2 seasons ago. So like, they're just somehow missing now. Oh boy. No, it was you, Darren, who went straight on there, the chicane. But that was after Akihari basically pulled the blocking move of like pushing you towards the oval. Like, that's nasty.
That Ferrari is, you said...
Was Peter Akihari.
Jeez.
Yeah, he's usually not this bad. He's usually he qualified on pole last time around. And, he can put a car on the podium, but he isn't usually the fastest on the grid. Yeah. I mean, usually the fastest is Darren and... I forgot his name again.
Lucas Lichten?
No, not me. The infamous Aston driver, I forgot his name. That won also, I think... No, Darren won the championship last season, actually. But yeah, he would be the 2 fastest. Well, the question is if they turn up to the race. I have not really been it's like, me winning on pace against those 2 is very rare. And when I steal a race win from them, it is very usually either mistake, them starting from the pits and having mistake, or other shenanigans going on, like running out of fuel in front of me. It is exceedingly rare for me to actually win on pace against those 2. But yeah, otherwise, Peter has usually not really challenged me, and I mean, he wasn't completely there pace-wise here today either. So is Camps as well. Yeah, that's... you wanna say? But yeah, I mean, if you look at faster grids, like even the Chinese in V-Track is like, they're not that quick. Like, they can easily get, again, half a second on me in qualifying, and then also carry that pace oftentimes into the race. I've been on grids where, like, people pull out another second or 2 on me. The alien times are way further down the road than this. And it's quite scary. Like, the depths you can go to for how fast you can go in ACC is quite high. And like, I mean, this has been explored in R-Factor 2, but like, I don't think it's been that much explored anymore at this point. It's also been the case that like I fell also a bit out of love with the handling of R-Factor 2, specifically when they patched things like the LMP2. Like the LMP2's, because the LMP2 is now suddenly really twitchy. Although, I mean, last time I drove it is again 2022. Well, no, actually it was 2023 when I last drove the... When I last drove... Whoa, Peter, what the fuck was that? It's like...
Okay, I think I reached the point that you were talking, that you did the bois. Wow, nice pit maneuver.
Yeah, I mean, genuinely, why?
Why?
Just really? Why is this accident happening?
Why though? What the hell?
It's just, why? Like, this move here I get maybe. But at this point you just give up. Like, he's there. You can't push him anymore away. Right? At this point you just hold your line and force him to take a tight angle into turn 1. But no, he just keeps driving left and just... not left, right.
Right.
And then just runs him over. It's like... Maybe he wanted to get in the slipstream behind him and I just misjudged it. And thought he was further ahead at this point already. Because, you know, he does weave here a bit. Which might make it difficult and like network connection and stuff. He might think see him lagging forward and backwards a bit. But otherwise I don't really have an explanation. And he also moves so slowly right. Like, if you drop behind in the slipstream, you usually just move very fast into the line to get in line behind the car. When you think you're clear, you drop in. You don't creep over. So it's a really strange accident to get involved in. And it's like, it's really unusual for Peters. Like, he's not like the guy in the McLaren the last few races that had gotten into shunts. That guy was new to league. Peter has been here for a long time, probably longer than me. So like, it's a quite peculiar one. Like, it's one thing to be like braking a bit late on the opening laps behind me and spooking me into giving up the inside line, but that one is just strange. It's just really unnecessary. It doesn't bring anything to anyone. Alright, when does he actually wipe out? Because at some point he suddenly drops a bunch of time to me. Ah yeah, this lap then. Ah yeah. He had that issue. His car just ate the inside curb there. No damage, but like, it's... When I did the 24-hour race on this circuit, it was with the Mercedes. It would occasionally do that, just eat the inside curb there. And you do have this issue occasionally also with other cars, but like... I don't know, I haven't raced a long distance race in a while here. And I prefer to keep it this way, sort of. I think there was also like, the coming weeks also like a 8-hour race here. But that one had a full grid already, so... So yeah, that has a full grid already, and like... I mean, there was quite a summer drought this year in terms of events, and like... Right now there's obviously not too much because Christmas is coming up and New Year and stuff. There's some events scheduled for January already. I'm looking into what I'm driving in terms of my weekday series. Because I want to keep this like schedule of like I run V-Track every 2 weeks and then have like something that I run during the week at some point. And I think I might do one. I do have for this weekend right now. I think it's this weekend for Saturday evening. A 2-hour race that I'm soloing. With the GT4, and that league is also then hosting, starting January, a GT3 sprint championship that I might drive in then. Because I don't know if Sudo is gonna be around next season, let's be real.
Is it during the weekdays? How does it work?
I think it runs Wednesday at like 8:30 p.m. So that would fit good enough for me. I mean, this here runs a lot later of a time slot. And I can get away with that one. Let me grab it briefly. Yeah, the GT3 Season 7. Yeah, it starts 8 p.m. Wednesdays. And it runs into March. Yeah, qualifying begins at 9 p.m. already. At 8 p.m. already, so not great, but I mean, in terms of weekday series, this is like probably the better ones. Because there's so many that like, oh yeah, we start at fucking 6 p.m. and I'm like, what? I'm not even home! It's like, what the fuck? Like, there's wacky stuff like that. Oh wait, that was the wrong selection. With an ACC, with a PlayStation. Let's select. I can select anything. There's a championship though, so we just get some times. Because I think like Williams Esports is hosting like a couple championships in either this month or next year. Either one of those I saw and like, oh yeah, GT2 championship, that would be nice. And it's like, oh yeah, there's GT Evolution S Season 2. Right, there it is. It starts. Runs through December, this series, and yeah, practice starts at 5 p.m. UK time.
Yikes.
It's 60 minutes, so like qualifying starts 7 p.m. my time, and then the race starts roughly 6:30 p.m. UK time, so 7:30. It's like, yeah, that's not great. Not good. They run Mondays also. Not that late home on Mondays, but like as compared to Tuesdays, but like, oh boy, it's still not good. So yeah, it's like, oh yeah, GT2 is like, I can't run it. Sucks. I think the GT3 series is a bit more humane time. But then it's like, it's a Williams Gaming Club, but it's like, well, if I want to drive against aliens, that would definitely be a great choice. Because there's just goddamn so many of them there. Oh shit. I was about to say, I was like, oh yeah, Christmas rush. 24, 25, December 29th race. Before hours with change of drivers. It's only for Assetto Corsa PlayStation. Because ACC PlayStation is like, Pain Beckham. Could have been a cool event. I guess I could be driving some automobilist in the coming weeks, but like, I don't know. Currently we have still this series going on. I don't have much scheduled for Saturdays, but like, maybe I figure out an enduro besides the race I think this week that I will throw on Saturday. I think this works out fine enough. And then I have Metro tomorrow again.
So you're not planning on doing this weekend the enduro then? Because you're saying it's just gonna...
Yeah, yeah, the 12-hour race this week I was already throwing around just like not doing, and instead have already signed up for the 2-hour race that is also I think this weekend, if I remember correctly right now. Who has joined this?
Poop.
Ah, it's you.
Hey, bro.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is we have already Tuesday evening, or has it already ticked over to?
It's almost midnight.
Yeah, it's not quite Wednesday yet, but like I would need to organize drivers. I need to for a 12-hour race need to scrap together drivers, a car, and set up a plan.
What the fuck did I miss?
Nothing special.
I mean, I want to race, so that's basically the.
Hey, at least if you're not playing R-Factor 2 again.
No.
Those dark days are long gone, mate.
We were talking earlier, like, why did I swap over from the Alpha to Jesus? You were like, I don't know.
You don't want the constant CPT.
Yeah, I think in some ways it was just like getting away a bit from Alpha to.
Hey, at least you did the right thing. Because the company that owns the studio is fucking dying.
I'm sorry. You can call me an R-Factor 2 fanboy, but that's debatable.
Yeah, I mean, that's my position where I'm like not purchasing LFM, not LFM, LMU, because I'm not sure if this early access game will ever actually release.
Yeah, you should rather invest into Automobilista 2.
Yes, the same in which slicks are faster in the rain. Yes, we should do that. That's not a joke, by the way, that somebody just broke the record, the real-life record.
Oh yeah, I saw the video recommendation for Osnogonoski's video. I didn't watch it. He did upload. He did upload a video about his opinion on like AMS 2 and the LFM update. What his experience was. He has since then deleted the video. There was a comment, as far as I know, under the video that the audio was a bit quiet. It wasn't too quiet, it was definitely still understandable, but I guess he just decided, okay, the audio is too bad, I will just nuke this video, and just hasn't bothered making it again, because it would take too much effort to put it back together. It's like, I don't think he said particularly anything too badly in it. It's like, he wasn't really complaining about the driving standards, which is saying something. he didn't say anything about the driving standards being bad in LFM. He's like, his complaints were like, AMS2 just doesn't know how to score cars at the end of a race. It's like, occasionally just completely goofs up stuff like that.
Oh well.
Yeah, and they recommend you running online races with like, what, 24 cars? And SLGP is like, yeah, we still stick to 18 because that, I guess, kind of works.
Yeah, even then it's like, it occasionally just goes, this car that like spun out with 5 minutes to go, he actually won the race, and also other shenanigans in terms of the scoring.
Yeah.
And like formation lab not working correctly and a bunch of other stuff.
The best way to try out AMS2 is actually buying it on a sale.
I own AMS2.
Do you own the season pass?
No, I don't. But I own the base game AMS2. I think the thing is, I drove that game when it originally when SGP added support for it. God knows when that was. That's also probably at this point 2 years ago or something.
Don't talk about SGP.
Well, this time it wasn't really SGP's fault. It was just if you hosted a dedicated server for AMS2, it would suck. It just didn't work.
No.
The server would just occasionally just crash. It was impossible to have a ping below 400 milliseconds. Just wasn't possible. And cars would just constantly lag and stuff, so that's great. That's not working correctly. There was a bunch of that shenanigans, and probably the scoring issues existed as well, but you didn't even get that far.
No, I'm
If
not
the server
talking
were-
about the server stuff, server side of SGP. I'm talking about their greed.
Yeah, that became later a problem. But at that point, that wasn't too much of an issue. The issue really with the AMS2 support is just I think my experience of AMS2 was quite well summarized at that point when I did it was, I think, was it the national layout or was it the GP layout? It doesn't matter. It was Hockenheim with the 90s DTM cars. First of all, they were an utter handful for some reason to drive. Like, it didn't really make sense of how difficult they were to drive. They were just not behaving how they are supposed to, really. They are 90s touring cars, yes, but they just didn't really I think for some reason the ABS was disabled or some bullshit like that. That was the case. The car was just really on knife's edge constantly, like just not forgiving you any millimeter of slip angle at all. It would massively oversteer if you fucking dared to drive this thing a bit sideways. A fucking 90s lightweight touring car. You had to drive like it's a fucking boaty NASCAR. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Anyway,
about race room.
Anyway, that existed. That was the issue. For some reason my what was my starter had unmapped itself. Because reasons. I don't know if I messed up or AMS2 messed up. Doesn't matter that part at that point right now. But it was broken. And dumbass me had left the gear knob in first gear and promptly stalled the car before even the race started. And obviously I didn't have a starter. I couldn't fucking refire it. So
That would work.
So I had to open the settings, quickly remap the starter, which at least we can do this compared to R-Factor 2. Done that, started my race about 20 seconds down, ran the other two drivers, yes there were only two others, down, was about to catch up to the leader, spun because the car was just so fucking shit to drive. And then we had like 2 laps to go at that point still. And I do one more lap and then the server crashes. It's like,
That's what usually understood.
that was just like, okay, we're sort of quite done. Besides the other point of AMS2 that the main menu theme gets your fucking copyright claimed on YouTube. Yes!
Basically, it just says get fucked.
Oh yeah, and Andrena has just mentioned LMU is going to charge subscription fees soon, just like iRacing. It's such BS. I'm also not a fan of charging for DLC in early access. Yeah, that's another thing of them selling DLC in early access. It really gets the point across. It's like, well, this is a finished game, except we didn't bother to ship half the game. And also, we want to have the shield of like that there's a shit ton of bugs in here, but like, oh yeah, we are in early access still. It's like we have a bunch of necessary features missing and a bunch of bugs, but like it's all fine because it's early access. Ignore the fact that we will likely never fucking fix these problems because we will go bankrupt before that. Or even if we don't, like assuming they don't actually, they probably still won't.
Don't forget, those idiots need the money to stay afloat.
Yes, because Kumas is 20 times better by doing... In general, sim racing is quite shit, isn't it? That's not good, it's just as shit.
It's just the whole industry being fucky-wucky.
Because if you want here, we can sit here and talk about how ACC has the pogo stakes, has the paid setups, has the servers sometimes deciding not to go ahead and work, has the interesting collision with physics, has the fact has you need to be like no real drive track, how you want to call it. So has the game with the tire pressures, because yes, of course real life teams have to go ahead and stick to like these fucking 5 milliseconds, 5 psi, because and if you go outside of that window, all of a sudden you're like 300 kilometers slower than everybody else or something.
ACC is not my favorite sim.
ACC is like shit.
ACC is not my favorite sim.
Then I have screen freezes for some reason in ACC, and I don't know why. I was like, where did this all fucking true problem appear? I thought it was that long ago.
My favorite sim...
Oh yeah, actually you can cause screen freezes in ACC if you have deliveries downloaded for a car, and that guy joins the server.
Yes, but I downloaded the delivery pack and I was getting screen freezes mid-race.
Okay, that's
it's bad. It's bad.
So yeah, I don't know what it's causing it. I'm just like, it's on my main drive, it's on an SSD. I don't know at this point what it is.
Yeah. My favorite sim has to be iRacing so far.
Oh god.
Okay.
I know. I'm glazing the subscription service, but the execution of it all is working. It works.
It just works, yes, it just works.
It just works, it properly works. The services are rarely down. They often announce maintenance.
Yeah, they actually, do the...
But any sim can actually just work. It's just that iRace, yes, except the times that, you cannot run like 62 cars or something like that, even though I can in Alpha 2, I can in ACC, I can in Automobilistic 2. I can do no other sims, but for iRacing,
maybe that's an engine limitation from iRacing.
It is at this point quite old.
It's older than, I don't know, probably than half the fucking subscription base of iRacing.
It's from 2008.
Did you actually listen to what Virus just said?
I don't know, it's like, they, at least they drive like they're that age. I don't know, man. It's honestly, it's like...
Don't underestimate him, the next Verstappen.
Yes, I should be the next Max Verstappen, not so drive like him.
You mean the next Oranje? Oranje man?
Orange man.
Oh god, sim racing. Why do we even play this?
Sucks.
Why do we even play this? Why do we even waste time, money and all of that on this?
We should waste our money, time and effort on BeamNG.
Wasn't there a video by Reykjavik about a year ago about racing games?
I love racing games, they suck.
Yes! Yes! It does.
Great. That video was fucking great.
Yes, it was very based. That video is like it hit the problem head on the nail. It's like,
nobody was safe.
Yeah, nobody was safe. That's for sure.
Nobody was safe.
Yeah, because nobody is safe. Every sim has its own list of fucking quirks that you need to know about, and otherwise you run headfirst into a fucking wall or some at best.
We don't talk about the F1 games.
Well, yeah, they also have a long list of problems, like all the other sims. And there's a variety of things different games simulate actually halfway proper. It is sort of understandable that people are decently hyped about AC Evo, even though it will
More than
not
likely
fix
be the
most
same.
of these things.
Yeah,
It's just gonna be the same.
remember,
It will
remember
have its own set of
Kunos.
quirks.
Remember, it's Kunos after all.
It will have its own set of quirks, but like, it might genuinely just fix a bunch of issues that I have personally with AC1 that just make that game not really raceable.
Still, I had the chance to play 2 of the 3 scenarios of AC Evo at Sim Racing Expo this year, and I don't have a so negative outlook at it anymore. It was fun to drive.
Yeah,
Yes, Alpha Factor 2
I'm
is
looking
fun to
forward.
drive. ACC's fun to drive. Yours fun to drive, but look at just every single same shit. The thing is until I get it in my hands and play it, and no, I'm not gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give it a fair chance. I mean, the bar is quite low. But if anybody's gonna, any sane person is gonna give it a fair chance, but it needs to be good from the get-go.
Yeah,
It's
the early access launch is coming around, I think, January 15th.
yeah.
Yeah.
We shall see. I mean, as I said, it will launch in early. People think it's gonna be the next coming of Jesus. It's not gonna be. Definitely
It's
not on
not.
January
It's
5th.
Mod support will be added at a later point.
Yes. That's one thing. But like, I mean, if we look at the timeline that ACC had, it started with a track and a car in a hot lap mode. So
Fuck off. We're talking about the Huracan.
I didn't play the game back then. I as mentioned earlier, I started playing ACC in 2021. I mean, technically, I played it a bit in 2022, but like, really in 2021. So like, I very much didn't experience those early growing pain years in early access. I might do some of it for AC Evo, but like, we shall see. But as I said, like, a large part of the problems that AC has is that it is quite incomplete of a game as a base game, so people have modded a bunch of stuff on it and it produces so much jank that like half the sim doesn't work properly. Besides the sim in general having some issues with just stuff it doesn't properly simulate and just occasionally send the suspension through into outer space because it didn't like it. Yeah, if that's just a bit curtailed, that will be a great achievement and a great improvement for that game. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna end up. It's not. The problem is people believe it will tomorrow replace AC, and it's like it's not. It is not gonna replace ACC either tomorrow. It's like, but it might in 2 years. It looks to have at that point the feature set to very much be good enough. Right. Okay then.
Well,
I think it is about time for me to wrap up.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Yeah. Bye bye.
bye bye.
Bye.